classroom is biographies. So before we start, let me introduce myself first with our companions. I am Talper Ronald. This is Ace. This is Miss Kabatingan and Miss Chin. Okay. Good day again, and let me ask Miss Secretary if there is absent on our classroom. Okay, none. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, since we all know there is no, now you look so good. Now let us review our past lessons. Who still remembers our last lesson? Yes, that's the physical self. Thank you very much. And let us this lesson will show you the objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to discuss the developmental aspects of the reproductive system. I know that you have maybe very familiar with this one reproductive system. It has identified human sexual behavior and sexually transmitted diseases. Where CS differentiate natural and artificial methods of contraception. Let's dig in. Now, our topic is the sexual self. All of us may think that sexual self is more about sexual activities, right? But it is not about that. Okay? Sex chromosomes define sex as secondary sexual characteristic sequencing behavior from childhood. So it is basically sex chromosomes, and it is the reason why you are male or female. Genetic makeup influences some treatment, some reject sexual traits. Some people who have they already decided if they're males or females, but some of them are rejecting their genders because of society and external environment. Okay? Varium 2001. Gonads or the reproductive organs form until the 12th week of embryonic development. So when we are in our womb, in our mother's stomach, in our womb, the 12th week is our gonads or the reproductive system organs in our body is starting to form. Okay, there is also a puberty stage. We are all familiar with this stage. Why? Because we undergo it into our lives. Puberty occurs in 10 to 15 years old and become useful. And our organs, reproductive organs, can be useful, especially in males and for females, 10 to 15 years old. When you say reproductive organs, it can be defined as for females, a vagina, and for males, a penis. Okay? And for males, some of the signs that you are entering the puberty stage is in males, you're starting to look your beards, your face starting to look good. Then you're starting to grow pubic hair in your private part. And for females, their breasts starting to get big or starting to form, and the looks is demonstration is not actually starting. Okay, vaginal infections and menopause. For males, prostatitis, uterinitis, and epididymitis. Okay, we are familiar with menopause because it is occurred when females are starting their age are starting way higher than they teenager. We are reached 50 to 60 years old when they are starting to get menopause. Okay, and vaginal infections can be reproduction system. Vaginal infection, menopause, in males for the epididymitis. And there is also a erogenous zone, receptive areas of body that increases sexual arousal and touch. Some of you are familiar with it, and some is not is innocent with this. erogenous zone is a part of the body that when touched, you will get open up or you get aroused. Some of them can result in sexual activities. Some by touching the lips, the hips, and the necks, or other parts of the body that can cause arousal and can be called erogenous zone. But it is depends on many people. Some people can turn on or aroused when they touch their legs, okay, their hands, and some parts of the body. Now, there is a human sexual behavior defined as any activity solitarily between two persons in a group that includes sexual arousal. Okay, there are types of behavior. Solitary behavior. Solitary behavior is, in a short word, a simple term, is masturbate. Some people don't do masturbation, and some people does. Okay? There is a sociosexual behavior where two persons are interacting and making a sexual activity. Okay? Now, there is a physiology of human sexual response. The one that says the same thing. It is caused by increase of blood pressure, a sudden rise of blood supply in the surface of the body. When you say it's a second phase, it is the starting phase of the sexual activity. Can be a hugging, a kissing, or other types of activities that can cause excitement. Number 2 is plateau stage. Plateau stage is a brief duration. If stimulation occurs, orgasm may occur. This is the second part, the sedative solution. This second part, the sedative solution.
Go.
If there is a types of behavior, there is a physiology of human sexual response. Number 1 is second phase. This is a sudden supply of blood pressure in our body. This is swelling of the private areas. Number 2 is plateau stage. Number 3 is sexual climax. Sexual climax can be a brief duration also. And abrupt intense pleasure for orgasms for female, and unlike females, they can produce multiple orgasms, but in males, there is required a rest after their orgasm. Okay. There is a nervous system factor. Sensory messages are transmitted to the brain, which interprets and repeats the body's response. So, whenever we do something, the reason of why we do that is our brain. The brain is responsible for our movements. Because if there is sexually activity, there is a message or transmitted to the brain, which is the result of the human activities. If there is a type of behavior, there is a physiological human social response, sexual response. There is a nervous system factor. There is also a sexual problem. So if there is sex, there is also a problem. There is a vaginal infections. There is a converted uteri. There is a prostatitis, adrenal tumors, diabetes, and cardiovascular issues. Okay, thank you. Mark, let's go over Mr. Ace for this part.
Alright, so now let's proceed to sexually transmitted diseases. So, as what Mr. Rivera said earlier about sexual problems, so these are things that can infect our genital parts, which leads us to diseases. So, first we have the sexually transmitted diseases. Now, these are infections that are caused by an infected person that transmit its diseases to an uninfected person. Now, these diseases carry bacteria, viruses, and parasites that can harm our body. So now, let me tell you about facts and other information about sexually transmitted diseases, or for short, STDs. So first, STDs are one of the global health priorities because of how it impacts women and infants. Now, why does it impact women and infants? It's because these diseases can affect a woman's genitals, especially from pregnant women who are about to become a mother, and those diseases affects their baby inside, which in turns can transmit their diseases to their child. So another thing is that STDs are now another thing about STDs is that one of its leading infections are AIDS, in which those are caused by human immunodeficiency virus, for short HIV, which can carry. So HIVs can attack the immune system, which can make the person prone to infections and diseases. Now, HIV can target T cells, which are inside of our immune system, that serves as regulators for the immune system. So now, let's proceed to one of its diseases. First one, we have chlamydia. Chlamydia. So, back in 2016, there were cases of chlamydia in the United States, which a total cases of 1.6 million cases. So, among those rates were 497.3% per population in the states. So, compared to 2015, there were an increase of 4.7% cases. Now, during that time, there were a Senegal program which is a screening for people who have chlamydia. So as a result, the cases of chlamydia were highest among women, unlike men, which were very low. So between those cases, there are an average of 9.2% among ages of women between 15 to 19 years old, and 8% in women who are in the ages between 20 to 24 years old. So next we have gonorrhea. So back in 2016, there were over 460,000 cases that were reported in the states. So with the rate of 145.8 cases per population. Now, during that time, the rates for gonorrhea cases were 22.2% in men and 13.8% in women. So back in 2016, there were cases of gonorrhea that were higher among African and American people, which had 481.2 cases per population, and for American Indian natives with over 242.9 cases per population. So what they do in this to treat gonorrhea is to give them antimicrobial resistance. So next we have syphilis. So syphilis had cases back in 2016, which had 27.8 thousand cases, which are primary and secondary syphilis. Now, back in 2016, there have been reported that 8.7 cases per 100,000 per population, and a 17.6% increase compared to 2015. Now, among those rates, there were 14.7% among men and 35.7% among women. So, most likely, the syphilis had more prone to women, which affects their health. So next we have chancroid, which is caused by bacterium called Haemophilus, which symptoms include genital ulcers. So, 4 cases of this type of disease were declined steadily between the 1980s and the 2000s. Now, back in 2016, there were 7 cases of chancroid were reported in the United States. So, next we have human papillomavirus, which can cause severe diseases in your body, but mostly it is asymptomatic, but over time the effects of it in your body will wear off over time. So next is the herpes simplex virus, which is the dominant among these diseases, but it can be cured with treatment. Next is we have the Trichomonas vaginalis. Lastly, we have the Trichomonas vaginalis. So, one of the common STDs, one of the examples that can harm this in humans is on pregnant women, which can cause their babies to give birth to them prematurely. And so, any questions, any clarifications? None? Okay, so now let's proceed to our next report.
So let's talk about natural and artificial methods of contraception. So the first one is natural method. So anyone who can do this? Yes, Mr. Rivera. Okay, thank you. So the natural family planning methods do not involve any chemical or foreign body introductions into the human body, which means that we don't need to involve our human body or our chemical body to introduce to another human body. And the next one is the abstinence. So anyone who can read this? Yes, Ms. Puspus. Okay, thank you. So this natural method involves refraining from sexual intercourse, and it is the most effective natural birth control. With ideally 0% fail rate. So this methods involves not having sex, and it is considered the most effective form of birth control, and it prevents sperm from fertilizing an egg. So it is a 100% effective at preventing pregnancy, but some point, most people find it difficult to comply with abstinence, so only few use this method. So the next one we have here is calendar method. So this method is also called the Asleridem method. So it entails withholding from coitus during the days that the woman is fertile according to the menstrual cycle. So this method is the woman needs when they record their menstrual in order to calculate the woman's place safe or the woman's safe days to prevent conception. So this is the method. So we have infertile menstruation, infertile and fertile. So they have different colors and also the numbers. And the next one is basal body temperature, or you should call BPT. So the basal body temperature indicates the woman's temperature at rest. So if it increases a full degree because of its progesterone and maintains its level throughout the menstrual cycle. So the basal body temperatures also involve women that they must record their temperatures every morning before any activity. So if the basal body temperature decrease, it can be the sign that woman has a ovulated. And the next one is we have cervical mucus method. So, anyone who can do this? Yes, Miss Lantape. Okay, thank you. So, the cervical mucus method, the change in the cervical mucus during ovulation is the basis for this method. So, it is the basis. So, cervical mucus method, also known as the Billings methods, that involves tracking changes in cervical mucus to predict ovulation and to prevent pregnancy. And the next one is we have symptothermal method. So, symptothermal method is basically a combination of a basal body temperature and a cervical mucus method. So, this combination, as what I've said, a combination of BBT and cervical mucus method. So, the next one is we have symptothermal method. So, this method is basically a combination of basal body temperature and the cervical mucus method. So, symptothermal method is a fertility awareness that used to predict when a woman might be fertile. And the next one is ovulation detection. So the ovulation detection method is an ovulatory counterfeit that requires the urine sample of the woman. So it is similar things to what we call pregnancy test, but the difference is the ovulation detection will predict ovulation, while the pregnancy test confirm pregnancy. And the next one we have is coitus interruptus. So anyone who can read this? Yes, Ms. Lastet. Okay, thank you. So coitus interruptus is one of the oldest method that prevents conception. So this helps prevent fertilization by stopping sperm and ova from uniting. So this method also have a advantage and disadvantage. So the advantage of coitus interruptus is it is free and it doesn't require devices or chemicals, and it has no medical and side effect. While the disadvantage of coitus is the disadvantage of coitus interruptus is coitus interruptus doesn't protect against sexually transmitted infections, and some couples find it disrupt and sexual pleasure. That's also any questions, clarifications on violent interactions. Okay, no. So let's proceed to Miss who's supposed to discuss the artificial methods of contraception.
So now let's proceed to the artificial method. So number one, we have oral contraceptives. So oral contraceptives, the pill contains synthetic estrogen and progesterone to prevent pregnancy. We have FSH is follicle stimulating hormone, and LH is luteinizing hormone. And now let's proceed to the transdermal patch. So transdermal patch is applied weekly for 3 weeks on the arm or buttocks. The application must be clean, dry, and irritation free. And now, number 3 is the vaginal ring. So the vaginal ring is a silicone device releasing estrogen and progesterone. It's placed around the cervix for 3 weeks and removed after 4 weeks. And subdermal implant. So subdermal implant are small roots inserted under the skin during menstruation or an its 7th day to prevent pregnancy. They release hormones like progestin are affected 3 to 5 years. Next is hormonal injection. So hormonal injection with medroxyprogesterone is given every 12 weeks. So next is intrauterine device or IUD. So intrauterine device is a T-shaped device containing progesterone inserted into uterus by a physician. The end typically inserted after a woman's menstruation flow and can remain effect 5 to 7 years. So now we have chemical barriers. So chemical barriers such as spermicide, vaginal gels, and creams and glycerin film are used to curb that or sperm before they can enter the cervix. So next is diaphragm. So diaphragm rubber disc placed over the cervix before intercourse to block sperm entry. It should remain placed for 6 hours after sex. So next is cervical cuff. Cervical cuff it rubber device shaped like a fan ball filtered over the cervix. So then stay in place for 48 hours. So next is male condom. So now let's proceed to the male condom. So male condom is a latex synthetic rubber sheet worn on the erect penis to trap sperm during ejaculation. So next is female condom. Okay, so they help prevent fertilization by locking sperm from reaching the egg. So last is surgical method. The surgical method is tubal ligation. The fallopian tube they cut or block to prevent sperm from meeting the egg, typically after menstruation. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
This is not just an information that can be useful daily basis on daily life. It can be helpful aware what is our actually a function of our bodies, part of the body, especially in reproductive organs. I think that's all, and thank you for participating.